All right, we have Grant Wahl hostage. For those of you who are listening, what an odd view this is for everyone watching. We are in a hotel room, and we're in Grant's hotel room. So we took the one chair and put it between the beds. And Chritian and I are standing on the edge of the bed like we're giving our nephew advice about his first boner. And now is the time where we tell Grant this is No Cap Recap, which is our Patreon episode, so there's no rules.
Right. Ooh, wow, okay.
Yeah, these are we do these every time we travel.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time that we've had a guest while doing this. You were also the first guest on our futbol TV show.
True.
So is it levels good? Yeah, we're good, right? Okay, so a lot of firsts. So we decided, yes, we were gonna take you hostage.
Yes.
Because somebody's to blame for this 0-0 draw in in Mexico
Which
City.
we got to see a part of. A lot of this is going to be Grant listening to me complain about not getting into the stadium until what I think is the 55th minute. Chritian seems to think it was the 48th.
It was like, yeah, it was the 48th.
So we'll meet halfway and say it was the 54th minute. I'm doing the math on that one myself. Grant, you got to be the whole game. What'd you think?
After the game, I was actually apologizing to people who were there for the first time. I'd written a column for my site like about a month ago. Go attend this bucket list game in the Azteca, World Cup qualifier, Mexico, USA. It'll be unlike anything you've ever done in sports. And it turned out not to be the case.
Yeah. It's exactly like a Houston Dynamo, Minnesota United 0-0. A lot of Mexicans in the audience, and no one's scoring. But this, unbeknownst to everyone watching, was the single most important men's national team game outside of a World Cup for the next 10 years.
It's crazy.
And that's the dud we watched.
Yeah, I mean, really the U.S. should have won the game, should have scored at least one goal, had two amazing opportunities. The best of the game, I thought, Christian Pulisic in close, right at the keeper, saved. And then PFOC gets a really nice ball from Reina, should have finished. And then sent the ball way into the stratosphere.
Yeah,
did nothing.
I just heads up, everybody. It is currently 1:30 a.m.
Oh no, they know when they hear our voices.
Okay, it is 1:30.
The No Cap Recap fans are our Gully Squad Patreon is they're well aware.
We
have these voices.
We got back from Estadio Azteca in a party bus, which we'll give more detail a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yes, it is quite late. So this is our first reaction to that.
This is our immediate reaction.
Grant is a journalist, a storied, no pun intended, journalist. I mean, the resume on this man, and for him to bring himself to this level,
right.
Where
this is his 0-0 is doing our show.
You guys got to come at 1:30 a.m. That's the only time you can come.
I'm not listening to you scrubs make a show until 1 a.m.
All right, you're the most courageous American soccer journalist to agree to do this. This is insane. But the miss from Jordan Pefok, my first reaction, because from the where we were sitting, it just looked like just another miss.
I thought he hit it back to Gio Reyna. I was like, all right, what a generous man.
I thought it just went a little bit wide. He was going far post, and it happened.
I think he overthought it. I think he was trying to go back across the opposite way. Maybe try to use Memo Ochoa's momentum against him. And no.
But this is overthinking it, because it felt like even Mexico was doing the same thing.
Security staff overthought it when they couldn't get us in a goddamn stadium until the 50th minute.
Overthinking
we flew 5 hours each way to stand outside a stadium for an hour.
We're still in Mexico, so we haven't flown the other 5 hours.
By the time they listen to this, we will be in the air. En el aire.
So, but overthinking it, did you feel like, because that's what I took away from it. I think Mexico and the U.S. were overthinking it. I thought both did not want to lose, and you saw it with the chances that they were taking. Who was it? I think Chucky Lozano had a fairly good chance.
Pretty good.
And, just nobody was accurate enough. Everybody seemed like they were distracted by something, but distracted by, what if we lose this game?
Yeah, and for both teams, getting a point is not the worst thing in the world. And you got
Better for
to.
the U.S.
I mean, it's probably better for the U.S. being on the road at your arch rival, but Mexico's gonna make it to the World Cup, and so like I know their fans are upset. They booed the crap out of Tata Martino before the game. Take my word for it since you weren't there.
Yeah. Actually, we could hear it outside. We weren't allowed in the game.
I thought they were booing us.
I thought they were doing security protocols.
But I don't think this is a very good Mexico team, and I think their fans realize that. And it's weird because their front three in particular should be dangerous.
Right.
You got Tecatito Corona, you've got Raul Jimenez, you've got Chucky Lozano. You have a good young Ajax player in Edson Alvarez in the midfield. There's good players on this team, but I do think they're too old. And I think that's actually going to hurt them at the World Cup because the U.S. and Canada are younger teams.
Yeah.
And the World Cup's like a young person's event, I think.
Right.
Especially the way Tata wants to play.
Yeah.
Which is apparently not win.
But even they also seemed very old trying to mark Gio Reyna in that run. It was really remarkable where the level of freedom. It was almost like, stop, Greg's gonna be mad at you, dude. Like, stop dribbling so much. But
I think he has an idea that he wants you to pass, buddy. What are you doing?
But it was
actually, I think it's a good question because we talked about Tata Martino. We talked a little bit about overthinking it on the PFOC side. Both managers are in a little bit of a precarious position. Tata Martino way worse.
Yeah.
Right? He has fans calling for his head. He's lost 3 matches against the U.S., just drew at home in a very important game. Walking away from this 0-0, what manager is in a hotter seat? And do you think Greg Berhalter is even in a hot seat?
It's all about qualifying for the World Cup if you're Berhalter. And now, because the U.S. got a point here, because Panama dropped points at home to Honduras, which is pretty bad for Panama. Like, if the U.S. wins on Sunday, I have no idea when this is coming out, but it's either the U.S. automatically gets a berth on Sunday if they get the win, or they sort of de facto essentially get a berth, because then that would require Costa Rica to beat the U.S. by a lot of goals, which I don't see happening in Costa Rica. But actually, last time I was there, it was 4-0, and Klinsmann got fired. Wow. So maybe I should stop talking.
I don't know if you guys heard the sharp cut of the wheel there. I think when you look at like someone like Greg Berhalter, there's not that many fans that, sort of have this overwhelming confidence in his ability to manage this team, or, that never-ending feeling as an American that there's just someone out there who could do a better job. But he's done a pretty okay job to walk away from this game knowing you probably should have won in the Azteca.
Oh, yeah.
Probably one of the most important matches you've really come up against. You got to be kind of confident if you're him, because you just have to solve a few small issues.
Right. And in the end, history will judge Greg Berhalter's U.S. coaching tenure for what happens at the World Cup and did you make the World Cup.
Right.
It looks like they're going to make the World Cup. Now, there's some other good moments, beating Mexico 3 straight times, 2 of them for trophies, 1 in a World Cup qualifier. There have been low moments, I guess, the 2 losses to Canada, 1 in Nations League, 1 in World Cup qualifying, maybe the tie at home in World Cup qualifying against Canada. He struggled against Canada. The loss at Panama, I guess. But those are pretty small in the big, scheme of things.
Right.
And I personally, I remember when Greg Berhalter got hired, I wrote this column. I was like, he might be the right guy for the job. I just thought the process that U.S. Soccer went through to hire him was bad and didn't do him any favors because he was the only candidate.
Right. It was his brother being like, he's a good guy. I know him. I know him pretty well.
How many vouchers do you need? Just one? I'll give it to you. Listen, ask anyone else if they've been around Thanksgiving. I think the answer is no.